Hill.com's race and politics reporter, Cheyanne Daniels. So thank you so much for joining us. Everybody's wondering who she is going to choose to be her running mate. And there was a little bit of confusion on social media over the past few days, particularly when Philadelphia's mayor, Sherrell Parker, posted on X seeming to endorse Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro for receiving this nomination to the nomination. But that didn't happen yet. In fact, she tried to explain and backtrack once people were replying to her post. So was this a premature announcement or a really big clue?
I think that's a wonderful question that we all want to know the answer to. I think maybe a little bit of a premature announcement. We know there are 3 candidates, particularly who are being heavily considered. All of them will bring something unique for Vice President Harris's campaign. She's really trying to narrow in on who is it that's going to allow her to reach undecided voters and those perhaps who maybe aren't totally in love with Donald Trump, are a little bit up for grabs, those more middle voters. So she has to find somebody to kind of balance a little bit of her more progressive side while also maintaining that connection that she has with the more progressive leaders in her own party.
What has the Hill.com found about how some are saying she's moved to the middle only since receiving this nomination, or this, really, she hasn't received the nomination yet, but this very big endorsement from President Biden heralding her as the next nominee? Is she moving more to the middle, or is she being very careful with her talk?
I think she's being very careful with her talk right now. I think she's in a very precarious situation. There is so much enthusiasm around her campaign right now that President Biden didn't have, if we're being honest here. And so she's trying to maintain a little bit of a balance because, remember, she was considered more progressive than the president is. And so now she has to be able to still speak to those who were supporting President Biden. At the same time, she's trying to keep those progressive voters on her side as well.
Is there anyone on the short list who fulfills that balanced requirement? I mean, obviously, she's gaining a lot of attention from women, the Black community. However, there are people who are saying, okay, we need to leverage this. So would that be a Mark Kelly who was polling very well the week before? Or was it, is it going to be somebody like Buttigieg?
I think that is an excellent question, because right now what we're seeing is that there's actually quite a few Democrats who are really in love with Walsh, quite honestly, who are telling her, throwing their support quite literally behind him, from Senator Bernie Sanders to Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi. I mean, these are big names that are saying, we want him. But again, she really has to think about who are those who are going to help me maintain that moderate sort of balance to get those voters that maybe aren't so in love with some more of the progressive policies. And so it's a very fine line she has to walk right now.
Well, and I even saw the Harris camp announce Republicans for Kamala Harris. Now, she had a long list of people who were in politics who were backing her in this effort. But is there any reality there? Will there be a number of Republicans, considering her platform is completely different than the GOP, who would be voting for her this time around in sort of a revenge vote?
I do think that it's a little bit hopeful. But at the same time, remember, the former president himself is a very controversial figure. And remember, I mean, before she suspended her own campaign, I mean, Nikki Haley was out there saying that she would never cast her ballot for him. True. There are, Harris's team and Biden, when he was still the presumed candidate for the Democrats, was saying, we will take Haley supporters if you do not want to vote for Donald Trump. And so I don't think it's totally unrealistic, but I definitely think it's a little bit more hopeful than needs to be at the moment.
And just because there's a press release doesn't mean that it's actually going to be effective on the ground. Thank you so much, Cheyanne Daniels from thehill.com. We appreciate you coming in.
Thank you, Adrienne.
Thanks for being in person.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.